like pulling out big weeds to help the plants. We learned lots about all different kinds of plants.
Well, you get to sometimes plant stuff and harvest stuff.
You get to catch bugs. I like to plant vegetables.
It's really awesome because gardening is really fun and it keeps you really entertained.
Welcome to Garden of Learning. I'm Kelly Westman, founder and educator for the Garden of Learning program. I've been helping schools start garden programs for the last 20 years. Also, I've been running Garden of Learning at the elementary school in my local community.
You can learn how to garden and to learn how to grow food that you can eat.
When you plant stuff, it helps the world.
Garden of Learning is a system for starting and operating a school-wide garden program and a K-6 curriculum. It includes 3 main sections. 1, the garden system. The owner's manual goes into great detail on how to organize, get started, and keep going. Number 2, the curriculum, A Year in the Garden. It has a school year's worth of lessons presented loosely in sequence of a typical school year. All subjects are integrated in the garden. And third, the farmer's market. It includes sign-up sheets, newsletter to go home to parents, a bunch of sample documents, and will help you get your farmer's market going. In the Garden of Learning system, throughout the year, students do all the planting and care of their garden. Teachers use it as an outdoor classroom for lessons in science, math, language arts, social studies, environmental science, agriculture, nutrition, and liberal arts. One key goal of this program has been to offer a tremendous amount of flexibility for teachers. Garden of Learning includes a system for keeping the school garden program running without cutting into any individual teacher's time.
It's so valuable to the children, it's so easy to implement, and it's just another way to extend the classroom. It's particularly important at this time because of the real push on standards and paper and pencil types of activities for the children. To give the children the idea that their knowledge and their learning goes beyond the classroom, that their connection to their environment, and then they feel a part of it, they take ownership of it, and that's what the Garden of Learning does.
Garden of Learning is designed to require very little of a school's budget. Typically, schools raise most of the operating funds through donations, business partnerships, and such fundraisers as a springtime farmers market, perfect as an open house or Earth Day event.
The Garden of Learning's been at Louisiana Chanel School for approximately 20 years, and each year it keeps growing larger and larger with more activities to do. It's associated with all the learning and curriculum that we have in the school, from reading, social studies, science, mathematics. And so we just incorporate those standards into an outdoor learning environment where children can have hands-on each day instead of sitting in the classroom. And the opportunity to go outside and get involved in the garden is a good thing.
We looked at 5 gardens very intensively in California over 15 years. The Garden of Learning was one of those 5 because it demonstrated what we considered to be the best practices in using a garden to teach science education and ecological literacy in a really effective way. What you see first is a new excitement about learning. They understand the value of healthy soil, of clean air, of clean water. The ecological literacy of kids becomes totally different. If you want your test scores to improve, here's a good way to do it.
Parent volunteers play a vital role both as program coordinators and as garden parents. These gardens have a unifying effect between elementary schools and the communities they serve.
I think anything to bring parents into the school is a really good thing, because parents and teachers always need to connect. And the garden inspires me to come into the school. I was a parent at another school that didn't have a garden program, and one of the things in this school that inspired me to get in was my kids could have this outside garden experience. So I really do feel like Garden of Learning is a program that works for kindergarten on up. Everybody talks about these things called differentiated learning styles, you know, and bringing different types of kids together with different abilities. And this really grabs all children to do something cooperative and learning at the same time. I'm a parent that doesn't have a lot of time to do any research or create any kind of student packet to teach them in the garden. So when I show up, I have about 2 hours. I grab the kit and I start taking groups of students out. We immediately start working. I don't have to do any research, and everything is in one contained kit. I know of a little boy who doesn't like to eat vegetables when he's at school. I see what he has for lunch, and I go, oh, I wish he could eat something healthier. But just the other day, we were in the garden and we were doing some work in the garden, and he actually went up to some of the Russian kale that were growing, and he was really curious, and he finally picked a leaf. And I let him, and he ate it, and he said, wow, that's good.
I think it's good for him to see what happens from the ground to your table, and I know that they use some of the stuff in the cafeteria, and that's important for kids to see where food comes from.
It gives the kids self-esteem, it gives them the sense of accomplishment, it gets them out there, they're active, and they get to create a product from it and learn about, teaches them about life.
I like the values.
My son Gregorio, he's been doing it, this is his second year, and he loves it. He talks about it all the time, and he teaches me things about the garden. It comes from the curriculum of the Garden of Learning.
School gardens are an important and wonderful way to educate our children. And now, more than ever, in our fast-paced world, they can have a profound effect on our children's lives.
It's tested, it's field tested. It's a proven curriculum. It works in the real world setting. These kids get it, and they've learned it in the garden.
Get the Garden of Learning program. It takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to pay someone to come up with custom curriculum. It's all in one package. There's even suggestions on where to find materials, how to set up garden parent helpers. It's an all-inclusive kit that can really get your school started.
Go